Okay, let's continue with the word of the Most High. We in 1 Corinthians 3 and 16. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? We've been going over the Spirit of the Most High. So he breathed a breath of life into us. So we breathe in the Spirit of the Most High that's dwelling in us. If any man defile the temple of the Most High by doing abominable things, sinning, eating the wrong things, they're going to kill you for eating the wrong things too. Abomination, he says. If any man defile the temple of the Most High, you break his moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, him shall the Most High destroy. He's going to destroy you. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. With him dwelling us, make us holy. So when we defile ourselves and doing things that are against his commandments, by our own personal feelings or ideologies, we suffer. Go back to Ezekiel, the second chapter. Ezekiel, the second chapter. Very important how we look at and examine ourselves, especially during these times that we're in now. We don't have no time to be messing around, playing around, or thinking that it's a time of pleasure. We can have fun, but we got to really look at this first. The Most High and His Word and truth. Ezekiel 2. Verse 4. Talking about us, children of Israel. But they are impudent children and stiff-hearted, silly, and dumb and stupid. That's what he's calling us. And stiff-hearted. Stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, he's saying. And thou shalt say unto them, thus said the Most High power. Everyone had a spirit of the Most High in them, who represent the temple of the Most High. And they, he said, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, whether you want to hear or not. For they are a rebellious house. Let you know. Already knowing this. A rebellious house. And to see Satan jumping on any time. Rebellious house. Yet shall they know that there have been a prophet among them. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them. Say, don't be afraid of them. Neither be afraid of their words or whatever they say. Though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions, be not afraid of their words. He said, don't be afraid of their words. Whatever they have to say. You call them like briars and thorns, he's saying. Scorpions. Be not afraid of their words. Nor be dismayed at their looks, the looks that they have. Though they be a rebellious house. I mean, he's making it clear. Though they be a rebellious house. And thou shalt speak my words unto them. And see, that's the problem. People, you speak the word of the Most High, like I say, I don't want to hear that. Yeah, they rather hear lies. Rather for you to tell lies, jokes, and lie to you. Make them feel good. But this right here, ain't nothing more important than the truth. And you got to understand, the Most High took enough time out of his busy schedule dealing with every one that have breath in their life, of the Israelites, to call you into this truth. And you take it lightly. That's like I say, giving the Most High the finger, the middle finger. What you think he gonna do? So I say, speak my words to Israelites, the rebellious Israelites. Listen. Verse 7, and thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. For they are most rebellious. He say, we most rebellious people. Well, we got to speak the words of the Most High. And you roll in the spirit and not in the flesh, and people can hear you. They can't hear you. Maybe they're not spiritual. Maybe they're carnal-minded. How did Ezekiel get the knowledge of the Most High? Let's read. Read on. For thou, son of man, talking to Ezekiel, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Say, open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. So a hand was sent to him, and the roll of a book, the scroll of a book was sent to him. And when I looked, verse 9, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein. What was written? Lamentations and mourning and woe. See, one thing about our people, you don't know about prosperity preaching because it started where I'm from. Before there was prosperity preaching, it was about lamentations and mourning and woe. When you went into that building, you come out of there, you feared the Most High, some kind of way. You had some kind of way of thinking, man, might not have been teaching all the laws that they're supposed to be, but you knew the Ten Commandments and you knew to fear the Most High. Be afraid of them because it was dealing with hardcore hellfire preaching. What he said was written in this book, lamentations and mourning and woe. Woe means destruction. You know what lamentation means, crying, mourning, and destruction. But he said, hey, he got this by reading this book, this roll of a book, reading this book, learning it, living and applying it in his life, as we are to, unto this day. Ezekiel 3, 3rd chapter. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou shalt, eat that thou findest. Eat this roll and go speak unto the house of Israel. Read this book. Read these words I'm going to tell you. To go talk to the rebellious Israelites. Spread this word to the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat this up, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it. He ate it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. was in his mouth as honey for sweetness. Remember what he said though. He ate that. What did he find? When he ate that roll, what did he find? Written there, within and without. Verse 10 of Lamentations, 2nd chapter. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. But when he ate the roll, it was sweet in his mouth, just like honey. For sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. He said, you ain't going to a people of a strange speech or a hard language for them to understand. Everybody understand this. They can hear. Most they got the Bibles written in all different languages, pretty much. Last I heard, it was years ago, it was maybe one that wasn't, but I'm quite sure they covered that. And the Most High have his hand in this, you see. You had to read the words of the Most High from a book. Look what Mashiach Rashad said. Go to St. John 6 chapter, verse 58 and 59. This is that bread which came down from heaven, the word of the Most High. Not as your fathers did eat manna. You know, we ate manna, Most High brought manna, and it tastes like whatever we wanted it to taste like in the wilderness. And are dead. He that eateth of this bread shall live forever. He gave the knowledge and understanding of the Most High, as the word of the Most High, who he was. These things said he in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum. So you see, he's letting you know. He said, you eat of this bread. I'll tell you what this bread is. Jump to verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth. See, it's the spirit of the Most High that quicken you. The flesh profiteth nothing. Hear that? So our flesh, our lust, the things we desire profiteth nothing if it don't coincide with the spirit of the Most High. So the flesh profiteth nothing. The words, hear that? The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. That's why he said in St. John 15 and 3, the spirit and life, right? The words that are speaking to you, they are spirit and life. St. John 15 and 3. He said, now you are clean. Through what? Through the word which I have spoken to you. He didn't speak of himself. He spoke of the words of the Most High. That's why we were so blessed to be able to have everything from Genesis all the way to Revelation and everything in between. He was the word of the Most High when we read about in Ezekiel. Still the word of the Most High. Look at Colossians 3:16. Colossians 3 and 16. Colossians 3 and 16. Colossians 3:16. Let the word of Mashiach dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Most High. Say, let the word of Mashiach Rashad dwell in you, which is the word of the Most High. You know? So the Spirit of the Most High can dwell in us. St. John 6:63 again. St. John 6 and 63. We dealing with spirit tonight. It is the spirit that quickeneth. See, the spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profiteth nothing. You hear that? The flesh profiteth nothing. All you carnal-minded people that think carnally, and you dealing with the flesh, it profiteth nothing for you. The words that I speak unto you, as the word of the Most High, they are spirit and they are life. They are spirit to lead to everlasting life if you follow them. You meditate on this. And you think about what you have learned in your everyday operations. To be in the spirit. So the spirit of the Most High dwelling in you is nothing but the word of the Most High dwelling in you. Can you relate to that? It's nothing new under the sun. It's been this way. Now, going back to Romans, the 8th chapter. In the 9th verse. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the spirit of the Most High dwell in you. The word of the Most High dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of a Mashiach, he is none of his. The Mashiach of Shai is the word of the Most High. Isn't that what he's going to be called? That's what he's called in John 1:1. In the beginning was the word was with the Most High, the word was a Mashiach Yahushua, the same was in the beginning with the Most High. When he come back to judge and make war, his name will be called, he got a name that nobody knows, but it'll tell you his name will be called the word of the Most High. Now you understand. You should. Matthew 19 and 17. Matthew 19 and 17. Matthew 19 and 17. Let's read 16, because I made this statement before this lesson. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? So as I said, people say, how you doing? Y'all always say, I'm good. That's something new though. But listen to what he said. So he said, Good master, he called him Mashiach Shai good. And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There was none good but one, that is the Most High. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. Keep the commandments. That's why it's a beautiful scripture. He said, There's none good but the Most High, right? Go to the book of Psalms. I believe it's Psalms 105. Psalms 105. For the Most High is good. Hear that? For the Most High is good. One more time of understanding. For the Most High is good. But you gonna put your name there? He say the Most High is good. My shepherd said, don't call me good, for the Most High is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth, his laws, statutes, commandments endure to all generations. So nobody tell you ain't under the law, because every lesson I have to bring it out. Psalms 119, 142 seems like it come out all the time. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So going back to Matthew 19 and 16 again. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? We just read the Most High is good. And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is the Most High. We just read what he said. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. How come you're not reading that in the church? This is the New Testament. This is one of my Shai telling you. You want to enter into everlasting life? Keep the commandments. You got moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. Keep the commandments. That's what he's saying. That's what he letting us know. Keep the commandments. And it's all through his word. That's how only way you're going to know the commandments is through his word. The word of the Most High. It'll allow you to see the commandments and to keep the commandments. Okay. Go to Ezekiel 11 and verse 19. I'm going here because the thoughts of your mind is part of the spirit of the Most High. Whether you think right or you think wrong. Ezekiel 11 and 19. And I will give them one heart, one mind. Let me define this heart for you. I believe I can. Mark 7 and 21. Defining the heart. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts. See? Out of your mind, create evil thoughts. And proceed evil thoughts. Adultery, think about it, do it. Fornications, think about it, doing it. Murders, thought about it, did it. Thefts, think about doing it. Covetousness, think about it, then do it. Wickedness, think about it, then you complete it. Deceit, love to hear lies, think about it and do it. Lasciviousness, think about it, doing it. An evil eye, think about it, you do it. Blasphemy, think about doing it. Pride, think about it, doing it. Foolishness, can't tell them nothing. Think about it and they do it. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. From the way you think. Now Ezekiel 11 and 19 again. And I will give them one heart, one mind. And I will put a new spirit within you. And I will take the stony heart, the stony mind, the rebellious mind, the stiff-hearted mind out of their flesh. And will give them an heart or a mind of flesh. A new mind, that they may walk in my statutes and keep mine in ordinances and do them. And they shall be my people, and I will be their power. See, this is Most High telling us. But he got to do this. You got to do that. You're going to place in us his word. Because how else are we going to know? Y'all think some funny dust going to come down out of the sky and just take over? You ain't got to do nothing? No. It's going to be through his word. Of what you're hearing now, it's going to be his word. Period. How he's going to change us. Like we supposed to be changing now. through all this high-powered information that's in this Bible. He's going to place his word in us. Look at Romans 8:6. And we're going to be spiritual, minded. It's the spirit of the Most High in us, as it should be if you studying and you're applying this in your life. Let nobody take you off into a carnal world. Look, Romans 8:6. For to be carnally minded is death. Can't get no clearer than that. To be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. That's why it's going to be some people that's not ever going to have to deal with the things that other people are going to have to deal with, because they're carnal minded. To be carnally minded is death. That's the thing of the flesh. That's the flesh. To be carnally minded is death. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Remember what Mashiach said? Be spiritually minded is, remember what Mashiach said? Matthew 19:17. You want everlasting life and avoid death? Matthew 19:17. And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is, the Most High. But if thou will enter into life, you want this everlasting life, this peace, keep the commandments. You see? Keep the commandments. You want that peace? All right, go to John 14:27. John 14:27. He said, Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, not being carnal minded, which is death. The world can't give you this peace. But people looking for the peace for somebody in the world, or some entity or something that's going on in the world. No. He said, Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled. Let not your mind be troubled. Neither let it be afraid. See? That's that peace that he can give you when you operate in the right spirit. He said, when you please the Most High, he make even your enemies be at peace with you. Why not? So the thoughts of your mind are also called spirits. What do you think? Because you either keep the word of the Most High in your mind, or you be carnally minded and you set yourself up for death. Like I say, you got a choice to choose life or death. That's it. Life or death. Which one do you choose? Romans 8:7. That's why I say people looking for some kind of prestige in this world, more power to you. Romans 8:7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. The carnal mind is at war against the Most High. For it is not subject to the law of the Most High. So the carnal mind, or people that think carnally, they're not subject to the law of the Most High because they're not looking at the law of the Most High. Neither indeed can be. That's why James 4 and 4, I called it. Let's read it. See, look at somebody in the world, and no matter what they're doing, and that little time with the world can send them straight to hell. Just like Moses, he did one thing. People don't believe this. I think you still think how it is in the church. All you gotta do is just ask forgiveness, just pray over something, whatever you want to eat, and it's gonna be cool. You ain't gotta worry about no judgment from the Most High. All you gotta do is, I did this. When we knew we were gonna do something wrong, we'd have the sacrificing animal or turtle dove or pitch or whatever we needed to sacrifice, knowing we're gonna do something wrong, ready to sacrifice it in disobedience. Like you say, I ain't going to the Most High on your behalf. You did something wrong. You know you're not supposed to do it. That's presumptuous sin. James 4 and 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? The friendship of the world makes you at war with the Most High. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. You hearing it? Romans 8 and 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. The carnal mind is enmity with the Most High. That fleshly mind want to satisfy their flesh, want to beat somebody in hell, or need all this attention. That's the carnal mind. I'm going to tell you what the carnal mind produces. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, is at war with the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High. It's not subject to the law of the Most High. Neither indeed can be. Hear that? So we got to look at this carnal mind before I close out. We're going to continue this, but I want to look at this carnal mind, or this mind of the flesh. Go to the book of Galatians. Not too far away. Go to the book of Galatians, the 5th chapter. And we're going to look at the 16th verse. And we're going to read down. It said, this I say, then, walk in the Spirit. Walk in the Spirit. And ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. You won't be carnal minded. If you walk in the Spirit, in the word of the Most High, you won't be carnal minded. For the flesh lusts against the spirit. So the carnal mind is lusting against the spiritual mind. Someone have a spiritual mind. And the spirit against the flesh. So this is in opposition of each other. The spirit and the flesh working against each other. And these are contrary to one to the other. That's why you can say one is worldly and one is spiritual. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. You got this battle going on. But when you look at, I gotta defeat the flesh and let the spirit dominate over the flesh or the carnal mind, then you will find yourself becoming more spiritual. Now you're gonna be closer to the Most High. Now you're gonna look at the word of the Most High, because only way you're gonna defeat it is by the word of the Most High being in you and you applying it in your life. People learn it, they live in it, but they ain't applying it. They don't know how to apply this. When it comes down to apply it, you gotta denounce the world, the things that would have you go to hell, or the Most High come and jack your butt up. Where you hollering and screaming, you don't know what to do. Look. For the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to one to another. They fighting. It's a battle between each one. So that ye cannot do the things that ye would. You can't do the things you would because the flesh got you doing something that's contrary to the spirit of the Most High. The word of the Most High. It's supposed to be in you. But if you be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. You're led of the Spirit, you're going to follow what is right. You're not under the law because if you led of the Spirit, you ain't got to be thinking about no laws because you already know them. It's going to be in you. That's wrong. No, that's right. Okay, I can do that. I can't do that. You're going to look at what you put in your temple that the Most High said, we are the temple of the Most High. You're going to be curious about what's right and what's wrong according to what I'm eating. How my moral character is. Am I acceptable before everybody? He said, if it be possible, be at peace with all men. Am I acceptable? What am I doing? That's why I say, but if you are led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. Because you ain't going to never have to sacrifice. If you're not under the law, sacrifice. Because you think about it. If you're led of the Spirit, you're going to do what's right according to the word of the Most High. And you don't have to keep going for the Most High to hear you repenting to him. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Then here you go again, doing the same thing. You don't have to keep going to the Most High. My second shot just told you, hey, I ain't going to the Most High. Ain't no more sacrifice for sin. Keep doing the same thing. You think I'm going to just keep on going to the Most High? And I'm already trembling before him? And I'm going to keep going to him? No. That's why I say, but if you are led of the Spirit, you led of the word of the Most High, and what's right from wrong. That's only way you're led of the Spirit, you know what's right according to the scriptures. The word of the Most High. You are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest. Let's hear them. Which are these: adultery. Look up all these words: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, going on and on and on, right? Murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High, but be thrown into the lake of fire. Because their name's not going to be written in the book of life. If your name not written in the book of life, as it says in Revelations 20 and 15, you're going to be thrown into the lake of fire. But the fruit of the Spirit is love. We know love is defined in 2 John 6. First one to say love, right? 2 John 6. But this is love. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that ye have heard from the beginning, that ye should walk in it. Love is the keeping of the Most High's commandments. That's the first thing it says, love. Myself Shai said in St. John 14:15, if you love me, in St. John 14 and 15, keep my commandments. Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, which is keeping of the commandments. And when you do this, you have joy, you have peace, you have long suffering, be able to suffer long. Therefore, you get your spirits together. You know, you ain't so hot, you ain't so high-tempered, and you know how to control yourself. Long suffering, gentleness. You're gentle, know how to be gentle. It's a process that, because, you know, it's like, you can't just look at being angry, of having problems, of being all uptight all the time. A lot of things we have to go through. A lot of things we win, some things times we lose. But most of the time we gonna be winners. If you stay with the spirit of the Most High, okay, where there's good, there's evil. Or so you lose over here, but you gain. You lose over here, then you gain. You see? When you're in the spirit. The fruits of the spirit. You follow this. That's why he said. You keep the commandments of the Most High, you're doing what's right, you have joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, believing in the Most High, meekness, which is contrary to being prideful. Meekness, you don't need nobody to elevate you to say, look at me. Look what I'm doing. You want somebody to make you feel good. You're supposed to feel good anyway. With the fruits of the Spirit, that's what he's telling you. Meekness, that's humility. Contrary to being prideful. You see? Temperance, against such there is no law. Because the first thing he said is love, which is keeping of the commandments. You know, law, you ain't got to go to Mashiach Shai to ask him to go to the Most High to repent and forgive me for my sins all the time. Because you in order. You following what it is that he's saying here. And they that are Mashiachim have crucified the flesh with the affections and lust. The affections is something, that's emotions. And lust is your flesh. Your desires. That will lead you straight to hell. And see, the time is coming when there ain't gonna be no repentance. It's about show and tell. I did this, now I gotta pay for it. Or I did this, I'm gonna receive a blessing for it. It's still blessings and curses. In Deuteronomy 28 chapter, still nothing changed. Nothing new under the sun, right? It's still the same thing. If we live in the Spirit, you live in the Spirit of the Most High, walking in His Word, let us also walk in the Spirit. We live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let's apply the Spirit in our life. That's what it's saying. Let us not be desirous of vainglory. There it is. Let us not be desirous of vainglory. Look at me. Aren't I beautiful? Aren't I handsome? Look what I did. I did this, I did that. I did this, I did that, I did that. For what? That's vainglory. We're in a condition called hell. Worthless glory. How does the Most High feel about it? Ask yourself that. Is the Most High pleased with me and what I'm doing? And looking for vainglory? Just look. Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. We got that bad. Envying one another. Everybody have an opportunity to do whatever they want to do, but people envy others. For what reason? I never understood that. Because I know the opportunity was for everyone that wanted opportunity to do whatever. Put your mind to it, you can do whatever, accomplish whatever you want to. And not be looking for vainglory, exaltation. Look at me, look what I did. Who cares? Most I don't care.